My name is Lena, and welcome to my channel. I was late to take photos or film how the lampshade looked before I started restoring it. It's a shame about that decorative trim. It had lost its appearance. I'll be taking measurements from these silk details, replacing them, and I'll try to restore this vintage lampshade. I'll show you how it turns out. I carefully steamed all these parts with a steam generator, bought a yellowish scarf, and now I'm cutting out the pieces using a pattern, and I'll try to glue them onto the lampshade. So here's the middle of the process. I've already glued on 3 pieces. The problem is the lampshade has a concave shape, and I need the fabric to stick well. There is a special film for lampshades, but I couldn't find any, so I came up with using construction double-sided tape. I stick it on in pieces because it's not possible to apply it in one strip. Creases appear. To make it smooth, I create a mosaic out of the tape and then glue the fabric on. I'll trim everything later and use gross grain ribbon to make an edging, and all that will be left is the golden cord. Now I want to invite you to my living room, or rather, my living room workshop. This is exclusively my room. I apologize in advance for the noise. There's a strong wind, and the canopies are banging. There's nothing I can do about it. This room was made from part of the balcony. We glazed it. It was a very large balcony, and we didn't need such a big open space. Let's head into my boudoir. I won't go into too much detail about every item because there's so much here, like a museum. This bureau I've shown you before, part of my cloisonné collection. At the bottom I have sushi boxes. They're very convenient when I start a project but can't finish it due to a lack of fittings or something else. It's easy to grab any box, and each one has its own set for jewelry making. Here's a small part of my husband's collection. I won't show it up close because there are some items that can't be shown on YouTube. These are my plates. I used to have a TV here, but since I didn't need it, we removed it and just left the shelf. I restored this dresser. It had been painted black. It's still not finished. These drawers should have wooden dowels. My husband promised to do it, but as he says, a promised deed waits 3 years, so we're still waiting. I really like this sculpture. It's heavy, bronze, and I think it weighs about 50 kilos. Clearly, it's Spain, national Spanish heroes. This is Columbus, and this is Cervantes. There's all sorts of little things lying around, messy and out in the open. Here's my mannequin. I won't show this shelf up close either. It's dusty. I didn't have time to clean. It's a beautiful display case, but inconvenient because it's open, and since it's on the balcony, it gathers dust quickly. Mostly, these are items I brought from Moscow after my mother passed away, and I've added my own touches. My geese, these are cotton toys I made myself. This is a small relaxation zone. The sofa needs some work. I'll get to that later. A marble table with bronze legs, and here's the main part, my workspace. You can see how I separated the relaxation zone from the working zone. Here I have all kinds of beautiful things that delight my soul and eyes. And here's the lamp. Now it stands looking this beautiful. The lampshade turned out great. When it gets a little darker, I'll turn it on and show you how beautifully it glows. And this is how the lamp looks in the evening. It gives off a very cozy golden light. I'm happy with how it turned out. The golden cord, the petals pressed tightly to the plastic. It all came together wonderfully. And now, here is my actual workspace. And we'll start with this table, which I got not so long ago. I decided that I would never clutter it with anything, that it would always be ready for filming. Well, that was my plan, but in reality, it's only tidy now because I invited you over. Usually, both this table and the other one are completely covered, although that wasn't what I intended or planned. These little containers are meant for ice cubes. I use them to store small findings, really tiny ones. These include crimps, jump rings, and all kinds of small bits and pieces. On this side, I keep gold-colored items, and on this side, silver ones. Next, there's a drawer that I don't open very often. In the top drawer is my emergency stash, items I found at flea markets that I haven't shown you yet. I keep them for times when I can't make it to the flea market. That way, I'll still have something new to show you. These are pieces from my unshown collection. The rest of the drawers are all for making cotton toys. There's cotton blanks, paints, and so on. These two black boxes were once bought at a flea market. They were in terrible condition, but I restored them as best I could. These are retail display containers meant for glasses, but I use them to store my bracelet collection. I won't go into detail about each one, but if you'd like, let me know and we'll do a full overview just on the bracelets. This is the second drawer with bracelets. And later, if you're interested, we can do the same for the clip-on earrings. So that's this little installation I have. This is already a different table. This is my actual work desk. It's a basic small school desk with a large tabletop placed over it. And this is where I work. These small wooden drawers, very heavy, were also bought at a flea market. They were originally made for an electrician. There were still some tiny parts in them. I forget what they're called, but it doesn't matter. I repurposed them to store all kinds of beads. Everything is labeled. Well, almost everything. The left side is for gold-colored findings. It's not fully filled yet. The right side is divided into silver and bronze findings. As you can see, there's almost no bronze. Nothing is even labeled yet. The next plastic drawers are modern ones, and they're also nearly empty. That's where I store black-colored findings, which I barely have any of. This nail drill I don't use for its original purpose. I use it for my crafts. And here is the table where I actually work. Below it are fabrics, ribbons, and scraps. There's also a UV lamp, and under this small side table I keep paints and brushes, all for making cotton toys. This chair was given to me by my son. He broke one of the armrests. He got a new chair, and I got this one. And I'm quite happy with it, because it's very comfortable to sit on. The broken armrest is on the right side, which is perfect for me. Here's a lamp. My recent purchase. A magnifying lamp. It's fantastic. If anyone needs the link, I can send it privately. Let me turn it on. I'll show you something. A wonderful lamp. I'm really pleased with it. The lens is quite large. I think it's the biggest one available on AliExpress. And this is my new setup. Let's call it that. I'm always trying to improve the convenience of my workspace. I asked my husband to make me a shelf like this one. I attached a magnetic strip for kitchen knives here, and now my tools hang like this. You see, behind the glass is the rest of the balcony. It's huge. What you see ahead is the part of the balcony we didn't enclose. Against the backdrop of these beautiful walls, I take photos for you. Then this part is my living room. And further back, behind the glass, there's an extension of the balcony which we turned into a studio for my son. What else can I show you? In this drawer, I keep cords and chains on spools that don't fit in other drawers. Here I have crystals. Here I have beading wire. What's in here? More crystals as well. Now let me show you this drawer. This is how I store my brooches. The base is covered with velvet and padded with batting, so I can stack one row on top of another without them getting scratched. This is one drawer. Oh, sorry. Cigarettes. You don't need to see that. Don't look there. Here's another tray with brooches. Here I keep clip-on earrings with double row compartments. Then there's all sorts of small items. So I've shown you my room. Ah, no, not quite everything. Let me open this drawer. Here I have all kinds of beads labeled pink pink, white clear, multicolor, mother of pearl, green, purple, blue, light blue, black. There are all sorts of beads in here. I'll close it. This is a continuation of my brooch collection. 1, 2, in general, a lot. Here are drawers with chains that aren't on spools. At the bottom are boxes. Some are filled with jewelry to be restored, which I haven't gotten around to yet. Some boxes just hold elements I need. Depending on what I need, I take out crystals or maybe brooch pins. So that's how it all looks. Well, I've shown you everything. The main star was this lamp. I was happy to have you as a guest in my home. One last look at my room. And with that, I say goodbye. All the best. Goodbye.